Hey, I'm Rob Adler, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Jim Search and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, we are not trimming the tree. We're drinking it, Jim, as we learn about the Genesse Keg Tree and a menagerie of other Upstate Holiday events and history. Pretty exciting stuff.
Oh man, yeah. As a native upstate New Yorker, it is in my bloodline to drink alcohol.
Sure.
So the fact that this has popped up in the now catalog or canon of this podcast is, I'm not shocked that we're going to be they've done this. Right, yep. That this has become something, and B, that we're going to be speaking about this. Yeah, this feels pretty on.
This goes back to 2014. They've had a few years off at one point, which we'll talk about. But this is a bona fide tradition. This is legit.
Sure. This is all in 10 years old, a little over 10 years old.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to talk about it. Again, we've got some other interesting history and facts that we'll talk about for this. I think this is our final holiday themed episode that we're rolling out.
And
here.
This is the last one, right? That we're gonna be getting into, like for the year. So get ready, folks.
Yeah, no, it's I hope I compiled a nice list of things. I'm pretty sure I did, but if we didn't, we'll hear about it because because most people should be subscribing, rating, reviewing our show. Sometimes people throw us less than 5 stars, but that's not you. You are going to give us 5 stars and write us a positive review, and also toss in some kind words that maybe have a suggestion for a future topic that we cover on the show, because we do that. We've done 3 or 4 listener submitted episodes at this point, or topics.
Absolutely.
And we love doing them. They're a lot of fun. So get those suggestions our way so we can get some new topics for a new year. How about it?
And also, make sure you email us at understandingupstate@gmail.com. That's a good place to write to us, because we do, in fact, write back. We've gotten definitely over the year, a little over a year, some folks who have written into us, and we are very diligent about replying to the emails that we receive. So Be one of those people, understandingupstate@gmail.com. And also, if you haven't gotten a t-shirt already, do it now. We got t-shirts, we got merch popping off. Understandingupstate.printful.me. The link for that's also going to be in the show notes. God damn it, go buy all of them. Buy them all, man. Don't leave yourself out, man. Make sure you're the talk of the town, talk of the water cooler.
There you go.
When you're wearing it to work, baby.
For sure. Jim, I wasn't able to find any Binghamton-specific holiday traditions. Are there any? I found like Roberson Museum. The various museums have like holiday-themed things. But is there anything you'd like to shout out? I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, well, pressure makes diamonds, Rob. And what I can tell you, and it's actually on our list of things to talk about, is First Night. There's an annual tradition in Binghamton, New York called First Night. It happens right after Christmas. It's basically a New Year's Eve celebration where there's a gigantic bonfire that happens, if I remember correctly, right near the arena. And that started, oh God, when did that start? I want to say it started in like 98, 97, 607ers fact check me on that one. But that is a holiday tradition that happens in the Binghamton area. And the Stop DWI tournament is another big one too.
I think we've talked about that before.
Absolutely. That is a tournament that happens at the arena, and a basketball tournament that features talent from all around New York State, especially New York City. Binghamton has an invitation into it because they are the hosts, and they often I used to say they would get smoked on a regular basis. However, as Binghamton Patriots are in fact the state champions, I don't know if that's going to be the case this year, party people.
There you go.
So,
all right,
there you go. Those are the two. Those are the two big Binghamtonian celebrations that happen.
Well, let's take a trip on over to Rochester, shall we, Jim, and begin our holiday trip as we cruise through some different things. Starting first, of course, with the Genesse Keg Tree.
Ooh, let's talk about it.
All right, so this first article is from 2014. This is the first year that the keg tree was created. This is from WXXI News. Title is Genesee Brewery Lights Up Beer Keg Christmas Tree. Again, December 18th, 2014. The Genesee Brewery held a special kind of Christmas tree lighting outside its brew house on Cataract Street Thursday night. The quote, tree is made up of 300 empty stainless steel kegs trimmed with lights and topped by a rotating Genesee sign. I believe it's a neon sign. It's a big ass neon sign. It looks great. The 2-story keg tree was used to also unveil Genesee's new holiday Tap It Forward social investment beer, which is a salted caramel chocolate porter. Portion of the proceeds of the beer sales will be donated to the Garden Aerial Fleur Garden Project, which is an urban garden at Brown's Race. The holiday beer, which involved collaboration with local shop Hedonist Artisan Chocolates, is available for limited time on tap at the Genesee Brew House. Wright Distributing is also distributing the beer to craft beer bars throughout Rochester. Okay.
Huh. So a beer for a good cause, a philanthropic endeavor.
And I just keep in mind, it's we're starting with 2 stories and 300 kegs. Just something to keep in mind as we go through the years here.
Sure. I have a feeling where we're going to go with this. If I'm wondering if my hunch is going to be correct.
Sure. Well, let's see what the Associated Press had to say, Jim, of this first tree, shall we?
Well, judging by the headline, not surprised.
Sure.
Again, not too blown away. Having actually dabbled in this endeavor up there. Giant New York beer keg Christmas tree is sadly missing beer. Again, this comes to us from the AP.
I like a reputable reporting.
Sure. I dare anyone to say that this was a slow news day. I dare you to say it. Rochester, New York. A Western New York brewery has constructed a Christmas tree out of hundreds of beer kegs. All that's missing is the beer. The Genesee Brewing Company built the Christmas tree out of 300 stainless steel kegs outside its brew house in downtown Rochester. The keg tree is trimmed with 600 feet of green lights and topped by a rotating Genesee sign. More than 20 of Genesee's elves, also known as employees, may or may not have some substance abuse issues. Just throwing it out there, folks. Got to work designing and building the keg tree. Alas, beer lovers, the kegs are empty.
I think it's a good thing. That thing would be so fucking heavy if they weren't empty.
And I feel like, that it's only a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
If we were to fill those up. But also, let's. I feel like this is something that didn't have to be said, but sadly did. Sadly, it did have to be said. But the company says when the tree is dismantled, the kegs will return to the production line and be refilled. Thank
God! It's a holiday miracle.
Yeah, it's a Christmas miracle. God is truly great. The official public lighting ceremony is set for December 18th. A 2-story Christmas tree made out of 300 half-barrel kegs lights up the sky outside the Genesee Brewhouse in downtown Rochester on Wednesday, December 10th, 2014. So if you're listening to this, you might be a little late unless you bend time head on
I think
back.
this is just the description from the photo in the article, but the one. Oh yeah, we've got 600 feet of green lights. Again, these are all good stats to keep in mind as we jump ahead here.
But again, if you were interested in going,
sure,
you to this in particular one, this might be challenging. The keg tree is trimmed with 600 feet of green lights and topped by a rotating Genesee sign, as we've said. More than 20 of Genesee's elves, also known as employees, got to work designing the keg tree. Now, as we move through the story and the I would say the soup to nuts building of this operation, Rob, tell us a little bit more about what happens after the tree is built.
All right. So again, like a lot of things, there was a hiatus because of COVID for the tree. In fact, it seems like it was a 3-year hiatus. No, 2 years. All right, so let's learn a little bit about it. Genesee Brewery lights up a beer keg Christmas tree. Again, from WXXI News. In Rochester, New York, a holiday tradition returned to the Genesee Brewhouse on Friday after a 2-year hiatus because of the pandemic. The brewery was able to host its keg tree lighting event. The tree includes more than 500 empty kegs stacked nearly 3 stories high now, covered with more than 30,000 lights. We went from 300 half-barrel kegs and 600, I guess we have 600 feet of lights, but we don't know how many actual lights that is, but 30,000 lights sounds like certainly an increase.
And this makes sense given that this over the pandemic we were drinking.
Oh, sure.
So I am not surprised that now there's 200 more kegs that are available for this.
A whole nother story of beer. Well, I think it's pretty good.
Sure.
Let's see. Really, it makes you humble that you realize that we're not doing this for us. We're doing it for someone else, said Brewmaster Dean Jones. And that's the way my theme for the whole holiday should be. You should always think of your neighbor because you can always do something nice for people and who can't use some niceness in the world. Let's see. The tree will remain lit up through the holiday season. So I believe that was from like 2022, probably.
That
would make sense.
I feel like that timeline makes sense to me.
Yep. Let's jump to the present, Jim, because there's some big news for the Genesse Keg Tree.
Sure.
Let's head there now, shall we?
Let's do it. Now, having beat out so many other Christmas trees, right? You've got the tree in Rockefeller Center.
Famous.
Right?
Famously
known. And that tree also coming from upstate New York.
That's happening this year. It's from upstate. I didn't include this, but the tree is coming from upstate New York. It usually doesn't. It usually comes from a different state. So it's actually kind of special. It's coming from upstate New York this year.
That's right,
That's
baby.
just a little side note, but continue on your famous tree list.
Sure. A lot of. There's so many trees out there to contend with, right? So many that I can't.
Whole forest's full. In fact,
there's entire forests of Christmas trees. But believe it or not, folks, the Genesse Keg Tree named number 1 Christmas tree in the nation, nationwide.
And in fact, the Rockefeller Center tree, number 5 on the list.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That little punk ass tree in front of that old ass building that no one gives a fuck about. That, I've happened to gotten pictures with my fiance 3 years in a row. But, nuts to that one. We're here to tell you about the number 1 Christmas tree. This is the tree that beat out all the other ones. It's official. The nation's favorite Christmas tree for 2026 is right here in Rochester.
I don't know why it keeps saying 2026, but,
I guess, I don't know if it's because, they're, going into the holiday season and
it must be. Or else they're pulling a Babe Ruth and they're calling their fucking shot, dude.
Sure. Or else, they're this confident that they've taken 2025 and they're going to do 2026. So we got 2025 out of the way. 2026 is ours. Well, It's in Rochester, New York, folks. The number one Christmas tree of the year. The Genesee Brew House's iconic Genesse Keg Tree has snagged the number one spot on Newsweek's Reader's Choice list of the best Christmas trees for 2026. Their words, not mine. For the last 11 years, the Genesee Brew House has been creating their Kegs Tree, a 3-story tall Christmas tree comprised of more than 650 empty kegs. We have jumped up 50 more kegs, folks, which again makes sense. And 25,000
But we've
lights.
lost 5,000 lights. These numbers are all, maybe, electronics always get more efficient each year. Maybe they're just more efficient bulbs, Could be.
Sure.
More
this could
twice
be.
as bright, twice as efficient. So, 25,000 lights is really, I don't know. We'll report back in an Upstate update about the lights they're using.
Yeah. You'll have to. You will wait till 2026 for that update, folks. With an annual tree lighting, including local food trucks, craft beer, and photo ops, this well-loved Rochester tradition is something the community looks forward to year after year, and this national recognition is well-deserved. Be sure to plan a visit to the Genesee Brew House to check out the award-winning Genesse Keg Tree for this holiday season. From the Newsweek tree list, each winter, Rochester's Genesee Brew House lights a 3-story tree built entirely of kegs in an inventive tribute to the New York's oldest brewery. The Keg Tree celebration unites the community with live music, local food, and seasonal beer releases, all while supporting local charities. More than a photo op, it's a symbol of resilience and pride for a city that knows how to work hard and celebrate together.
I thought that was a nice
I would have ended it with celebrate harder, but you know what? That's why I'm a podcaster, not a writer.
That's true,
guys.
That's true.
That's why I'm not.
No, we'll write Newsweek. We'll tell them what we. Tell them what we think.
Here's where you fucked up.
Well,
and
go ahead.
I was going to say, now it looks like we're swinging to Buffalo.
Yeah, for
right?
this is another shocking turn of events in rankings. We're going to Buffalo, which has recently been voted the most festive place in the United States, Jim. Pretty exciting. This is according to Travel and Leisure magazine.
The foremost authority.
It gets
festivities.
Wait till you hear who conducted the research for this study.
Oh wow! Okay, we're doing a little due diligence on
weird.
this one.
This is straight from Travel and Leisure magazine. The title is "This Unexpected City Was Just Named the Most Festive Place to Celebrate Christmas in the United States." There's no place like a festive town around the holidays, and Buffalo, New York has that Christmas spirit in droves. The upstate New York City was named the most Christmassy city in the United States by online crypto casino JB.
Okay, time out. How did crypto casino JB become such a person to talk to, or such a body to consult?
But here's the thing: like, I found this article in Travel and Leisure referenced then in subsequent upstate publications and websites and everything. Like, oh my God, Buffalo just got this accolade from Travel and Leisure. And they all drop the crypto casino aspect. It's like, I mean, yeah, I probably would too, but it the dubiousness is lost in local reporting. We'll say. So let's learn some more. The study, which I really want to know the particulars of the study, which the company shared with Travel and Leisure, but Travel and Leisure is not sharing with you, lauded Buffalo for its hundreds of holiday events, up to 800, and typical December snowfall of more than 25 inches. We got some lake effect up there for sure. We got some real snow.
For sure, man.
Which we've talked about quite a few times, I think, in different episodes, various blizzards and whatnot. Hotel rates in the city typically run less than $170 per night on Christmas, according to the study, with the chance you'll have snow on Christmas at a whopping 53%. That's not great odds. It feels like it should be higher for Buffalo, but...
Which, by the way, yeah, like, I'm going to, again, throw another flag on the play here. Whopping would be like 98%, 95 and better, a whopping 53%. Mm-hmm. You can't say a percent chance. Whopping needs to be above 90%, dude.
Yeah, like, I didn't even clock that. Good catch. I mean, no, if that's the kind of odds that Crypto Casino JB is purporting is good, I'm not gambling with them, Jim. The house always wins, as they say.
Yeah, and they're winning clearly.
Well, it seems like Buffalo's winning, so let's go back. Among the celebrated festive events is the Buffalo Holiday Market, a European-style market featuring artisan crafts, local food, and the chance to visit with Santa. Travelers to the city can also warm up with Buffalo's Tom and Jerry Trail. Famously, we just talked about that. Celebration of the classic rum and brandy-infused drink similar to eggnog, complete with more than a dozen different stops to sample it. Guys, if you're curious about the Tom and Jerry Trail, just check out our last episode. It's a doozy. Let's see. About half of American families will travel to another city this Christmas, and many are deciding where to go, the company wrote in a statement shared with T&L. What our study showed is that some unexpected places can really give you a great snowy Christmas experience and could be well worth a visit. At the same time, the rankings show that popular destinations like New York are crowded for a reason too, and they truly feel cool during holidays. I assume they mean New York City there. Jim, do you think there is any family making their holiday plans based around the recommendation of Crypto Casino JB this year?
If they are, it is arguably a very dysfunctional family.
Sure.
They can. Sure. I just would question whether what people are getting for Christmas. Definitely a lot of gift
I don't
cards.
think they're getting much because Daddy spent all the money on online gambling.
Sure.
That's probably what's happening this Christmas and why they need to go to Buffalo for the cheap hotel rooms.
It reminds me of the degenerate gambler dad from The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
Who just fucked off everything. But different podcast. For sure.
He's come up before. I believe on the Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, exactly. Good call. Good call on that one. Mm-hmm. See how we tie this all back together here, folks. You're getting prime time podcast goods here, folks. You really are.
Well, next up, Jim, nothing says the holidays like capitalism, and we're going to learn about a young upstart enterprising man from upstate New York who basically created the tradition of Christmas tree lots, particularly in New York City. But I believe this is one of the first people to be like, hey, instead of having people traipse out into the woods, what if I just brought a shitload of trees into the center of a town and people could buy them? So let's learn about this.
Man,
coming from Curbed from a few years ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
NYC Christmas trees upstate origins. Go on. Tell me more. Less than 200 years ago, standing up a tree inside your apartment was considered a bizarre decision, antithetical to the entire point of shelter by everybody but immigrants from Germany, where the tradition began. Anybody who wanted one in New York typically had to go out of town and lug it back in a wagon. That changed only in 1851 when an upstate Dutchman named Mark Carr saw a way to flip the dynamic around and make a fortune. Carr is considered the father of the Manhattan Christmas tree business, but almost everything we know about him comes from one article published in the New York's Tribune in 1878, headline, Mark Carr's Lucky Speculation in Conifers. It describes Carr as a jolly woodman whistling away a happy life on the flanks of the Catskills. I would too if I were fucking Jolly Woodman isn't a job and never was, but modern historians think it's likely Carr worked in a sawmill or a furniture factory, both of which relied on streams of power. In those days, streams froze come December. So one theory is Carr was out of work loafing around the forest when he realized he could chop down a forest and sell it in New York City. Hey, you know what? I can't knock the hustle, man. I really can't. The story goes that Carr ran home to tell his wife, who laughed in his face and told him the idea sucked. Well, fuck you, Mrs. Carr. To Mrs. Carr, almost any 19th century backwoods American, the concept of paying good money for a commonplace natural resource would have seemed insane. What's more, in 1851, most Americans didn't associate trees with Christmas or celebrate the holiday very seriously. Christmas wasn't declared a national holiday until 1870, and in New York, at that time, gift-giving and family gatherings were secondary traditions to the annual drunken citywide riot.
Bring that back.
Who knew Santa? Well, it's here. SantaCon is real, man.
That's true.
So, a drunken citywide riot, we have had that popping off for quite some time. Carr felled a wagon load of furs and headed to the big city with his best ox. He paid $1 for a permit to sell inside the Washington Market, Old New York's sprawling wholesale produce bazaar. At the intersection of Greenwich and Vesey Streets, right outside what's now the World Trade Center, a fascinated crowd formed around the wagon. And once he explained what the trees were for, standing upright indoors to signify Christmas, he supposedly sold out within one day. Never again would a tree man have it so easy. Man.
Yeah.
What an entrepreneur.
Right?
What a maverick of business.
Indeed.
I would go so far as to say that. I really would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty, it's consumer. Is it consumerism if you're buying a disposable tree? It's capitalism for sure. I guess you're not you're not trying to get the deluxe tree in the special packaging. It's just garden variety capitalism.
And listen, he really embodied capitalism, man. He bought low and sold high. So there you go, man. His profit margin is like 100%. Yeah. Well, probably a little bit less if he had to.
He had in that $1 permit.
No. He had to pay the $1 permit. And it sounds like if he's doing this all by himself, then he's keeping all the money. I think
maybe he roped his sons into at some point. He had some familial help.
I hope he broke his sons off some money, for God's sakes.
For sure. At least give him a free tree, Have some perks. Jeez. All right. The next kind of little factoid we're going to pivot to here is about the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," which has some upstate origins, Jim. In Troy, New York. Shall we?
Let's get into it.
All right. So this is from the Historical Marker Database. And it's about the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Also, its actual title being "Account of a Visit from St. Nicholas." Let's learn about it. This is a poem that was first published anonymously by the Troy Sentinel in 1823. So the very first publication was in Troy, New York. It is largely responsible for the conception of Santa Claus from the mid-19th century to today. Clement Clark Moore was born in 1779, died in 1863. He's a wealthy Manhattan biblical scholar. How could you be a wealthy biblical scholar? That seems...
I mean, hey, if you're hitting off, if you're breaking off some tithing, I can find a way.
That's some good tithing.
There's ways.
Yeah, I guess.
There's ways to make some cash from those who want to get to heaven.
That's true. Let's see. So he's credited, is the credited author of A Visit from St. Nicholas. Moore was famous in his day as a professor of Oriental and Greek literature at Columbia College, which is, of course, now Columbia University, a professor of biblical learning, the General Theological Seminary in New York from 1821 to 1850, where he compiled a 2-volume Hebrew dictionary. Legend has it that Moore composed A Visit from St. Nicholas for the amusement of his 6 children on Christmas Eve of 1822 during a sleigh ride home from Greenwich Village, where he went to purchase a goose for a charity basket. He supposedly drew inspiration for the elfin pot-bellied Saint Nick in his first poem from the roly-poly Dutchman who was a neighbor. That's rude.
Wow.
But from what he knew of Clement Moore, it's much more likely that he found his imagery in literary sources, most notably Washington Irving's satirical Knickerbocker History, which is where the New York Knicks get their name, actually, Knickerbocker History. Fun fact. Moore, who originally referred to the poem as, quote, a mere trifle, had been unwilling to have the poem published because as a stodgy man of academia, it was beneath his dignity. Again, how is he so wealthy? And he preferred to be known for more scholarly works. Tradition tells that a relative of Moore's, Miss Harriet Butler, a holiday visitor to the Moore home, took a copy of the poem home with her to Troy, New York, where the next year it was anonymously submitted to the Sentinel for publication. So, again, in true holiday tradition, we have conniving family members stealing shit from each other. A true Christmas tale. Moore himself claimed authorship of the poem in 1844 after the urging of his family following the poem's growing popularity. Later on, Moore bequeathed the mahogany bureau desk on which he composed the poem to Miss Butler due to her fondness of the poem. The desk is in the possession of the New York Historical Society. The Troy Sentinel was a relatively short-lived newspaper published from 1823 to 1832. In Troy, New York. Norman Tuttle was the publisher. Orville Luther Hawley was an 1813 Harvard graduate practicing law before becoming the editor of the Sentinel in July of 1823, where he pledged the Sentinel would, quote, contain a greater proportion than is usual of original and selected literary and scientific matter. He invited readers to send in contributions and receive the poem anonymously. He wrote an introduction to the poem, which read, there is, to our apprehension, a spirit of cordial goodness in it, a playfulness of fancy, and a benevolent alacrity to enter into the feelings and promote the simple pleasures of children, which are altogether charming. So there you go. Took a woman from Troy stealing from her relative to get this thing published. And he was still, 200 years later, still kicking around. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Huh.
Jim, that's going to bring us to our final event here. It's another giant steel thing that people string lights up on in Rochester, and that's the Liberty Pole. Should we learn a little bit about what it is, and also it's kind of a tie-in with the holidays?
Sure. This article titled Rochester's Liberty Pole, More Than a Holiday Destination, from WXXI News, by James Brown, not the singer.
Sure.
Because he's not alive at the time of this publication. Also, he didn't write. So he didn't work for WXXI.
That we know of.
I mean, I have a feeling this may not.
Sure.
But hey, listen, Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Beats, if you find anything about James Brown writing for any sort of news publications, please, by all means, write us a little note there. When I was a kid, I lost my glove on the McCurdy's department store escalator downtown. I hope you recovered, James. I was maybe 9 and my mom was angry. We were late for the bus and I wouldn't stop talking. We made it, barely. As the bus pulled away from East Main and Franklin Streets, I looked up at this giant pole and wondered, what is this thing? Turns out the concept for a Liberty Pole began thousands of years ago. Thousands? University of Rochester Classics professor Cameron Hawkins said the idea draws on concepts from the Roman Empire, including a liberty cap. He said the cap had a deeper meaning in the ancient world. There was a soft felt cap known as a pileus, said Hawkins. Former slaves that had been set free would wear that felt cap, so the big moment would be at the funeral for their former master. Why would they be at the... Okay. Hawkins said the cap was minted on coins to commemorate one of the biggest moments in the empire's history, the assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BC. A Greek author named Appian describes what Caesar's assassins did next. They went up to the Capitol in Rome, said Hawkins. They were carrying a spear that someone stuck one of those caps on to symbolize that they just killed a tyrant and had just restored freedom to the Roman people. Over the centuries, artifacts and ideas from that era endured. They were reinterpreted for new generations as liberty poles, which became places to gather, celebrate, or protest in Europe and the New World. They were found in towns in the northeastern United States. Rochester got its first Liberty Pole in 1846. It was built quite close to where it stands today. City historian Christine Radarski said it didn't last long. Unfortunately, it was wood. Said Radarski. It was weakened by the elements, so it was chopped down 13 years later. A new one was built, and Radarski said it became the focal point of the city's Civil War effort. It lasted for 3 decades. In the end, wind toppled it a few days after Christmas in 1889. Oof. It took 70 years to replace it. So then what happens? There's no liberty? Everyone goes back into tyranny?
Yes.
How does this work? When the second one came down, it was during that 70 years that we put buildings on that historic site. Okay. And allowed them to decay over the years before we had our current Liberty
it seems
Pole.
like the tradition. You put a thing in this spot and it just goes to shit over the next few decades. And then another thing goes up.
Kind of like Liberty, right? It erodes, it goes away, it turns to shit, and then maybe comes back. I don't know. Is that an allegory?
Until you
maybe.
Make a 190-foot stainless steel pole. There you go.
And that we know today was designed and built in the 60s as part of the Urban Renewal Project. The city held a contest and hired an architect by the name of James Johnson. Johnson also designed many buildings in the area, including the Mushroom House in Pittsford, Temple Sinai in Penfield, Phyllis Wheatley Library on Dr. Samuel McCree Way, and the AME Zion Church on Chelsea Street. Well, how about that? A print from 1776 shows the raising of the Liberty Pole in a village center on a festive occasion with many spectators. Some appear to be disgruntled loyalists. In the background, several men are removing a sign bearing the likeness of King George III. So a whole lot of American history tied up in this here Liberty Pole. Radarski said that Johnson's design for the Liberty Pole was sunken and included a fountain. She also said the monument had gas lines and expected to shoot out flames in the winter. Little pyrotechnics there for the Rochesterians.
As an aside, this brings to mind maybe the most magnificent Christmas tree I've ever seen, which was last weekend. You drive along parts of the turnpike in Jersey, Jim. You'll go past many like oil refineries, right, and various industrial buildings, and some of them have those, the smokestacks that have a fire on top to like burn off whatever's coming out. And one of these places, and they're massive smokestacks. One of them draped Christmas lights off of the fire smokestack. It's fucking awesome.
See,
dude.
I was going to write a bit about this, about how I have mixed feelings about the holiday season, but what I really appreciate about the holiday season is when there's places and institutions that are so drab and just really not what we consider the holiday season will try and celebrate. You know what I mean? Like a prison will put up like a Christmas tree. You know what I mean? Like an accountant will string some lights. The Department of Social Services will have like mistletoe and shit. I'm into that. I like to see that happen.
No, it was great. It was great. Guys, go drive the turnpike and check it out.
Sure. On your way upstate.
Yeah, exactly.
Sadly, this flame, it didn't quite work out. Trash accumulated around the monument, so they built a platform around it. Radarski said it had mixed reviews. There are some people who thought that the place could have better been utilized, said Radarski. There was a feeling that there was need for more park space, open space, green space, and downtown, and some people thought it was downright ugly. Despite all that, Radarski said it became more than just a pole over the years. A lot of people remember the Liberty Pole, either from being downtown waiting for a bus and seeing this structure there, said Radarski, or attending the holiday celebrations around the Liberty Pole. So much history. Holiday celebrations started in 1970 with Liberty Pole lightings and kids visiting Santa at the nearby Midtown Plaza. They were funded by a group of downtown merchants who advertised the pole as, quote, the world's largest Christmas
Which I gotta believe, unless this smokestack tree has been going since the 70s, this thing is 190 feet tall. You just see pictures of it. It's a big tree when it's lit up.
It's a big ass tree, but is it the number one Christmas tree?
No. I don't even think it made the list, man.
No, it's, there's no justice in that. Eventually, downtown began to change, and the lighting stopped, but natives like Bob Duffy remembered. We would take the 10 Dewey bus downtown and get off, said Duffy. It was like a winter wonderland. As a small child, it was great. When Duffy became mayor of Rochester in 2006, he said he was determined to bring back the tradition, and in 2007, he did. To see happy people, happy faces, kids coming downtown, hot chocolate, skating. It's just a good way to start off the holiday season, he said. We have built traditions that are embraced by everyone, Duffy continued. It's a part of our culture. And we have so many cultures in our community, and we should have celebrate their traditions with them. So I think the more gathering places, the more open spaces there are, the better. The administrations that followed have kept the tradition alive. The Warren administration expanded the celebrations, linking the lighting ceremony to Rock Holiday Village, an enclosed holiday-themed structure built near Martin Luther King Jr. Park. Amid the coronavirus pandemic, there was no ceremony in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Smart. The city's manager of special events, Kara Ospovich, said they expect to revive them next year. She said she watched the Liberty Pole's poll in Rochester's civic life grow during her 10 years within the city. She said the city decided 5 years ago to keep it lit all year round.
Wow. All right.
Strong. It became this truly unique place-making experiment to have it lit, said Ospovich. The Liberty Pole has become a year-round place of interest, really the heartbeat of the community. Rochester's Liberty Pole is more than just a holiday celebration, folks. It's a gathering place for triumph and protest in good times and bad. Most recently, dozens flocked there to dance and celebrate with Joe Biden being named president-elect in November.
So it's an older article.
Sure. Simpler times, I guess? Question mark. And that, folks, is our hot take of the Genesse Keg Tree and all that goes within the catch-all.
Yeah. The little presents under the keg tree, if you will.
Sure.
Jim, if you were in Rochester this holiday season and you could only go to one giant steel tree structure, which would you go to?
Man, if you were talking to me when I was drinking a lot heavier, I know what my answer would be. You know what? I may actually go back to the Genesee one just to see what sort of degenerates are crawling around there.
Sure.
Do a little people watching, if you will.
I mean, one day.
What about? What were you going to say?
Maybe one day it'll be taller than the Liberty Pole,
and that's when the city envelops itself.
Sure.
Right. What about you, Rob? What tree are you going to?
I think, again, I've already seen a giant smokestack with fire on top of it, lit up like a Christmas tree. So I think I go for the keg tree. I really, You know, I like
Sure.
a holiday ale. I like neon signs too, man. See that thing on top of it? What a hell of a tree topper, man.
And the more you drink, the more fuzzy those lights might become.
Sure.
So, it's a dealer's choice.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I think there's no
decide
wrong answers to that question. You know,
Everybody's
It's
winning.
true.
Everybody's winning.
Well, everyone's winning if you subscribe, rate, and review this show. That helps us out. That helps you out. You don't miss any future episodes, and you help us spread the good word of Understanding Upstate. So do that. Help us out. Again, 5 stars, along with a positive review. Write some kind words about the show. You can toss in a suggestion for a topic to be covered in the new year. Which would be great. Also, again, Jim mentioned it up top. Grab a t-shirt. Start the year off fresh with a fresh tee. Available at understandingupstate.printful.me. That's M-E. Check all those great t-shirts out. Jim, that's not the only things we have to recommend, though. What? I think you got some things to recommend to our listeners.
Oh man, I sure do. Check this out, folks. Let's say you have drank your body weight in Genesee beer, and you are just floating around. You're floating around the Christmas tree, and you are high off life. You love it. You're drinking from the cup of life, but you want more. You want more upstate goodness. Well, you've fed your liver. Now feed your funny. And the way you do that is Upstate Understanding, the comedy album. Go pick up a copy of it. It is my debut comedy album. It's a tour de force, man. It's an incredible ride. Recently screenshotted on Sirius XM. Pretty fucking huge. Go get it, man. It's a great fucking album. Jimsearch.bandcamp.com is a good place to get it. And jimsearchcomedy.com is a place to see all the shit that I do. I do a lot of shit, man. I do a lot of comedy shit. So yeah, go run all those things up. And yeah, that's what you should be doing. Rob, they bought my album. They've done everything they can to support my shit, but yet and still they have disposable income. What the fuck should they do with it?
Let's just say your buddy came up to you and proposed the idea to cut down a forest and haul some trees into the center of town. And by his calculation, it had a whopping 53% chance to succeed as a business venture. See what I did there? Tied a couple things together.
Yeah, that was a nice
and you unfortunately said no and spent your money at Crypto Casino JB. And you're kind of screwed. You didn't get any presents yet, and you don't have a lot of money. But I got good news for you. My album is available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. I think there's a pay what you want option. So you find yourself a little short on cash, grab a couple copies of that to share with your friends and loved ones. It's a great little instrumental album. Check that out. Also check out our documentary that's a behind-the-scenes look at the making of Jim's album. It's also called Understanding Upstate. Link in the description for that and everything else we just talked about. Jim, do we have a hint for next week's episode, or are we just we kind of hinted at this being the last new episode of the year? Should we should we give a hint, or are we gonna? What are we gonna do here?
Yeah, where do we go here? What's the plan? Well, let's just say we're gonna be going mentally back in time, if you will. If you will.
I like it. Well, that just leaves us with the need for a closing transition by way of a up pun. Are you ready to get this thing closed out, Jim?
For the last one of the year, man, I don't know if I'm ready. I'll be honest. I'm not. I don't think I'm ready.
That's too
That's
bad because I need to catch up on my shopping for Christmas presents. So let's get on out of here.
Man, solid.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.